Hello again everyone, and a happy new year to you. You will already have seen a couple of videos on the channel that I did since Christmas, and I thought probably for the next one I ought to do, I guess posh folks would call it a retrospective of what I did last year. So let's have a look. I don't want to call it any kind of best of, because to be perfectly honest with you, regarding stills, it wasn't a particularly successful year for me, I don't think. So what I've done is to just choose a few examples from each month and then tell you a little bit about where I was, in case you decide you'd like to find the video and have a look at it. As you can probably tell, I've come out this morning on a very frosty and beautifully sunny morning to my local park, Prince's Park, and I'm just going to have a wander around and a chat to you really, and talk about the locations that I took you to and some of the, I don't know, better shots that I took, maybe. I'm sure you'll let me know in the comments anyway. So in January, I did some what I called urban macro, basically close-up shots around the streets of Liverpool, just to see what I could find detail-wise in architecture and things like that. I also brought the Olympus pen app out here to Prince's Park. I also put a film through my first 35mm camera, the Yashica Minster 3. Just to see what it was going to perform like, and I was pleasantly surprised with the results. Outdated film and all the rest of it, but throughout the course of this video I'll just pop a few stills up for you, those that I think are worth sharing, because believe me, there weren't that many. March, apart from some other weird stuff, the only sort of location shoot I did, I think, was the Liverpool half marathon, where I tried to indicate that it wasn't always necessary to get razor sharp images. Sometimes panning with a slowish shutter speed when you're taking shots of a moving subject is the way to go. And in April, I took a visit over to Chester to concentrate on the Roman remains over there. Not very successful photographically. And also I took you over to Waterloo, north of Liverpool, just to find the connection between Waterloo here and the Battle of Waterloo. Yeah, it always fascinated me to realise that those buildings, now sadly rather dilapidated, were constructed mirroring one of the famous battle sites from Waterloo itself. Now in May we did the old Exchange railway station in Liverpool. Not that there's anything left to see really, and I put together a composite image of someone crossing that footbridge, which I thought was quite amusing if nothing else. And I also visited Ormskirk, the Lancashire town of Ormskirk, a lovely market town with the Olympus bridge camera, which I was very, very pleasantly surprised by, I'll tell you that for nothing. I didn't keep it, not my kind of camera, but my goodness me, it really packs a punch with that zoom lens. I finished off that month with a visit to the Anglican Cathedral and got some nice interior shots. Well, I say nice, I mean not bad, let's put it that way. Walking over the bridge onto the island, which of course is where the Nelson Mandela Memorial stones are. It's an absolutely beautiful morning. Very cold, frost on the ground, but my goodness, bright blue skies and sunshine. Absolutely wonderful after the grey days that we've experienced here. And these are the concrete stones erected in memory of Nelson Mandela, and they represent the oil drums, which is what the prisoners on Robben Island had in which to grow vegetables and flowers. It was their way of creating a garden. Now in June I went down to the docks because in previous videos, the Exchange Station 1, I omitted a very important railway station that Liverpool used to have, namely the Riverside railway station, which used to enable passengers alighting from cruise liners to jump straight onto a railway train and head off out of the city. There's nothing left of it now apart from some railway tracks, so all I did down there was to take a couple of vintage lenses. I took the 50mm 1.4 Super Takumar, and I forget the other one, but I'll put it in the notes for you anyway. So that was more really about testing the lenses rather than trying to show you anything that still remains of Riverside railway station. And then the other video that I did of note in June was when I started to use more of my vintage lenses, and I think I've really enjoyed that as much as anything this year. When I got the Sony A7, the original one, that was good, and it enabled me to use these legacy lenses in the way that they have been designed and were intended for, as opposed to a 2x crop on my Micro Four Thirds cameras. So the A7, I got that purely to use with the vintage glass, and I hope that when I put together some of the stills that I've taken on those lenses, you appreciate some of them. July, I went much further afield, unusually for me. In July, I took you to Nest Gardens on the Wirral, which is owned and run by Liverpool University. Beautiful place, fantastic gardens. I was very happy with the images that I got there. But even further afield, I went to Stoke-on-Trent, which is the city where I was born. Visited the parish church in Stoke and got some good architectural shots of the grounds, not sort of inside the church, and also the pottery museum that I visited. That was a great couple of days out for me. I also went along the canal. Finally, in that month, I went over to West Kirby. Just did a quick video there because I think I'd hit whatever it was, 1,500 subscribers. So it was more of a thank you video than anything else. But West Kirby, a great place. August, I went and did some interior shots at Sudley House. Sudley House on the outskirts of Liverpool. Lovely building and some great interiors there with the 6mm Lauer. That's a perfect lens for interiors. It really is. The majority of the images that I took down there were on the 6mm Lauer. We've got some gulls going crazy on the lake if the mic has picked that up. But Sudley House, I was very pleased with that. A lovely, lovely house. Because I was kind of struggling for inspiration, I also did some infrared shots in this very park with my little Lumix. Those cameras still amaze me. You can pick them up for peanuts. That one, infrared converted, cost me £100, including carriage, and it's just a terrific little camera for doing that sort of thing. Not the highest quality, I'm not going to say that it is, but for the amount of infrared that I do, it's absolutely spot on. So in September, I went to Edge Hill railway station, one of the oldest railway stations still in use in the world, and although the architecture isn't what I would call pretty, nevertheless came away with some reasonable detail shots, I guess. After that, it was the National Waterways Museum in Ellesmere Port. And then finally in September we did the shoreline down at Oglet, the Oggy as the locals know it. In October, I showed you the 1 o'clock gun on the west bank of the River Mersey, which used to indicate the time of 1 o'clock. Surprise, surprise, Greenwich Mean Time. Installed really to aid, in particular, the mariners so that they could set their chronometers before leaving port and work out their longitude and latitude. So that was the 1 o'clock gun. I also went out and even used a tripod when I did some nighttime shots around Liverpool city centre, Matthew Street and places like that. That was fun, I enjoyed that. And then to wrap up that particular month, I went to West Derby Village and showed you the inside of the courthouse there. November, I had a soaking in Croxteth Country Park Woods. Again, another enjoyable walk, even though I didn't really get much in the way of keepers. Didn't get many keepers. I got a nice close-up shot of a group of fungi, but apart from that, it was a bit of a washout, quite literally. Then also in November, I went to Calderstones Park, another very, very popular location in Liverpool. Last outing in November was again to Croxteth Country Park. Let me see if I can walk up this rather muddy hill here. Croxteth Country Park again, in the hope that I would get some decent autumnal colours. It just hasn't really happened this year. I'm not sure how many of you watching this have experienced the same thing, but they went from green to dead and fall on the floor very quickly this year. I know we don't get the same kind of vibrant colours as some of you lucky people over in the States do, but nevertheless this year I think it was a bit of a letdown, to be honest with you. And then finally, December, I took you to St Helens World of Glass Museum, and I was very intrigued by that place, and I was quite happy with some of the stills that I got there. Again, very few what I would call keepers in a big way. Also, I took you to the Chantry and showed you how I sort of do my photography on a location like that, in a location like that. And then I guess the best image for me of 2024 was a one-off. It was a one-off visit over to North Wales, and I managed to visit again after very many years the hunting lodge up on the Denbigh Moors. And when I was in my teens, a substantial amount of that building was still upright. You could go up the stairs, and with a bit of risk you could even cross a couple of the floors, but now it's just a pile of rubble, literally a pile of rubble. But nevertheless, I was there. I had the EM1 Mark II with the 12 to 40 lens on it, and I managed to get a shot of that wonderful sky coming over from Eryri, from Snowdonia. And I think out of all the still images that I took in 2024, that has to be the best. You might have a different feeling about it, but for me, that's a keeper. That's one that I'm proud of. But overall, I'm happy with the actual footage and the films that I put out. If any of you have got anything specific you'd like me to do or to change, all you've got to do is ask. I may not do it, but you can ask. Anyway, let's hope 2025 is a good one, and fingers crossed I might even get some better stills out of it. You never know. Take care, everyone. Enjoy your photography, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye bye.